So it's the time that the show that I promised. I said that we're going to do a fans ODI 11 pick, and for you guys to pick the ODI 11 for the first match between South Africa A and Sri Lanka A, ODI game in Kandy. So I thought that this is a good opportunity for you guys to actually select the team and say what you guys think should be the 11 heading into this particular match and into this ODI series, I could say. But before we get going, before we get started with today's show, there's a couple of things I'd like you please to do. Please subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos, please. I see that 40% of you guys are watching without subscribing, so please go ahead and do so right away. What I'd also like you guys to do is to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. It's a show, it's all about the season review. So please go ahead and check it out. We've got some excellent exclusive interviews in here to tell you a little bit about some of the teams and what their current thought process is on what happened this season and what's going to be happening next season as well. So please get involved with that because it's very important that we get that out there, so that you guys can see and understand what coaches think, what some of the players think, etc. When it comes to this particular season and the season to come. It's free, so guys, please go ahead and get it. Um, what I also would like you guys to do is to please support us by becoming a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. It's an opportunity for you guys to really help us do what we are doing here. It's as little as a coffee a month. So please get involved. It really will help us out a lot to keep going with what we are doing over here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine. I'd also like you guys to please smash the like button, comment, and share because that's how we get into recommended feeds. And then go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular update. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to discussing this, guys, and seeing what you guys think about the ODI 11 going into this particular series. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Moedin, and this is the show where we're going to be picking the first ODI 11 for South Africa A versus Sri Lanka A. And we're going to be obviously going through each position and trying to get you guys to kind of help us and vote, obviously, for who you'd like to see in the starting 11 going into this particular series. So, as you guys know, we did a whole show on what we thought and the reasons behind the squad. But to refresh your memory a bit, going into this particular um, games, we need to know, of course, what the squad is. So, as you can see on the screen right now, we're going to be referencing this continuously throughout the show so that you guys can see who's involved here. So we got Tony Dezorzi in the batters department, Matthew Brzezinski, Deval Previs, Zubair Hamza, Jordan Herman, Keegan Peterson, Sinitemba Klashile, Tristan Stubbs, and Calvarena. In the all-rounders department, we've got Bayo Swanepoel, Gerald Kutsia, Senaran Mutasami. And then in the seamers department, we've got Seppo Moreke, Lutusa Pamla, and Lazard Williams. So what I want to know from you guys is what you guys will select, or what would you go with for this particular um, series? Who are you going to be selecting to play in this particular series? Generally speaking, what I want to do is get an involvement from you guys in the live chat, to try and give me some understanding of what you'd like to see, and we can get into it one by one. So first and foremost, what I'd like to know is the opening positions. Now, if you look at the domestic season and where players have played throughout the domestic season, we've got the likes of Tony Dezorzi, Jordan Herman. There are two players that have opened up for their respective franchises, so Western Province and obviously the Warriors. But there are other players as well that can also play in this particular positions too. We know that in the past Matthew Bretsky was involved. I'm just going to let Werner join so he can help me select this team as well. We've had in the past, we've had likes of Matthew Bretsky as well, that has opened in the past, but this season he's played more in the number 5 position for the Warriors. I mean, Zubair Hamza has dipped his toes into that arena as well, here and there, maybe in a few games. Calverain has done it in the past in 1 or 2 games as well. So there are a couple of guys over here that could possibly open for this team. So Werner, let's make a decision between the two of us, and you guys can get also involved in the live chat if you want to. And it will most likely, it could possibly skew our decisions either way, but it will try and help us as well to see what you guys think. Um, let's think about what how you'd go for this particular ODI series. I mean, for me personally, I went with two openers that have opened for the domestic teams, and I think that it would be a good opportunity for the likes of Tony DeZorzi and as well as Herman to open the batting, in my opinion. But what would you go with for this particular match? I see Lawrence as well as mentioned Tony DeZorzi and Herman or Brevis in his selections.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Tony and Arman as well. Um, that seems pretty solid to me as an opening partnership. If they're gonna play, Devolt probably has to be in the top 3 or 4. So, but I have no problems in opening with Tony and Jordan. Both of them very well as openers, so I'd go with that.
Okay, so I'm going to put that down right now so that people can see. I think it's going to get a little bit more complicated as we move along. There's a couple of guys that are there as well that we can talk about. I'm just going to give the abbreviation, guys, kind of. So for each player, you're going to have to obviously ask us if you don't understand who the abbreviation is. Tony Rizorgi, John and Herman to open the batting. I think me and Werner are quite. We are agreeing on that, at least on our side. Just our opinions, of course. We don't think that we are necessarily the messiah here, but we're just going to talk through every position and try to fill them. Okay, let's move on to the number 3 position. So you've got a couple of guys that can play there and a couple of guys that have played there this domestic season. So we've got the likes of Deva Brevis that can play there. He's also opened in the T20 arena for the Titans, but he could possibly play there. It's a position that many people think that he should occupy actually in the future in white ball cricket for South Africa. And possibly even some people would say eventually when he gets more test games, he could possibly play there in the future too. But he's someone that's in the mix. I think someone like Keegan Peterson would be in the mix with regards to that selection, and possibly also Zubair Hamza as a possible selection for that one. So if we're gonna pick the best number 3 out of all of them over here that are in this bracket, Werner, who would you go for out of the names I mentioned, or if you think that maybe when someone else has an opportunity to maybe do the same, who do you think would you go for?
Yeah, it's actually quite tricky looking at that to just pick a certain amount of batters we want to see everybody bat actually.
Yeah,
But we'll probably will throughout the three matches they'll swap them around. So I'm thinking that Keegan Peterson and Hamza will both get an opportunity at 3 potentially in the one day in the one day stuff, and then Deervolt as well. So it it's actually a bit tricky because I want Brits. I Aditya, long time no see. Yeah, so I'd want to see all of them play. So
yeah.
it, I'm 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 really not sure. Okay, I'd say start with Brevis at 3. Give him a go there.
Okay. So Werner's with Brevis over there at 3. Aditya, we've picked Tony Rizzosi and Jordan Herman as the two openers. I'm going to put up the team for you as well, so you can just have a look at the players available. Again, who would you go for number 3? Like I said earlier on, the likes of Zubair Hamza can play there, Keegan can play there. Um, possibly even Brzezinski could possibly play there, although he's played in number 5 position this season for his domestic team. And then we've got Deva Brevis as well. So out of the players on this list, who would you go for at number 3? And I'll be the splitting decision.
Um, so I think personally, I would like to see David Bravis then, but I think they'd go with Keegan Peterson because he's coming back from injury and he's almost sort of the incumbent in the test squad, and I wonder if this might be an opportunity that they use for Keegan to get back into some sort of rhythm. So yeah, I don't know. It's between Bravis and Peterson. I think Khalid's okay. There you are.
Is it my internet that's going weird? Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So you're saying Keegan Peterson, so you can get back into rhythm, obviously being out of injury for a long time.
Personal choice would be Bravis, but I think they'll go with Peterson. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll go with
Okay.
Peterson.
So let's go with our personal choices on who we want to see, so that we can get a consensus here rather than who we think is going to play, because I think it's going to be quite
Okay.
difficult with there being 3 games. They're
Yeah.
probably juggling. I agree with Werner. I think they're going to probably give a lot of people opportunities throughout the games. So let's go with a personal decision. So far,
DB.
Werner saying DB. Well, then I'm outvoted anyway. But I would also go with I would have actually went with Hamza at 3, because I want to. For me personally, I'm thinking on if they want to give Robin a chance to see players like Shukri said in his comments. He said he wants to give Rob a little bit of a headache with regards to the bowling options, and giving the likes of Devat an opportunity to bowl, as well as Stubbsy an opportunity to bowl. I could possibly see them maybe take up like a 5 or 6 position, lower down the order actually in white ball cricket, particularly Deerwald. It's a potential possibility for them to have maybe look at him at lower down the order. I think maybe for 4-day cricket more than I think maybe 50 over cricket. But in my opinion over here, I'm going to go with Deerwald as well at 3, because I want to see the youngster in his position that he's comfortable in, and I think a position that he can thrive in. So let's go with that. I think I'm going to agree with you. I think we've got some people in the comment section as well agreeing. Gaurav saying Devot at 3. Melissa saying I would give Devot a chance. Lawrence saying as well. Actually, Lawrence actually said Herman or Brevis to open. So it's interesting that I would have thought that he might have put him in at 3, 4. Oh, Britsky at 4, he said over here. Okay, cool. So it's either at opening or at 4. So that can be interchangeable. I mean, Hamza batted 4 domestically this season for Western Province. So that's just some extra insight. But I'm going to go with Deovat at 3. Let me just edit that and put it up on the screen. So we're going for DB at 3. I think it's unanimous over here on this one. Okay, at 4, as I said, the same scenario. We've got a situation in this team where we've got quite a few open top order batters that they've selected. Guys that can bat anywhere in the top 5, in my opinion, and then a couple of only really one player I would say is can play outright as a 6, and that is maybe Tristan Stubbs. If you look at it, even though he played at 4 this season for the Warriors and did pretty well. I think he ended up third top run scorer in the tournament this season. I think in the one day cup. So when it comes to that number 4 position, let's start with Aditya. Out of the names, who do you think should be that number 4 position? I mean, I'll go first this time around because I gave you guys a chance. I'll say I would go with Zubair Hamza at 4. I want to see him back in action again. I want to see what he's capable of, what he can do, and see him get some rhythm and an opportunity to show that he's got what it takes to be back in the system. Where would you go with Aditya and then Vander last?
Yeah, this time I'd go with. This time I'd definitely go with with Keegan at 4.
Okay. Werner?
I'm not gonna help much if I say Kyle Verreynne, right?
Well,
Not
if you
exactly gonna be a tiebreaker.
yeah, it won't. But I mean, we got the chat also to help us with that. So I mean, if more
You
people
see,
say in
the
the live,
problem I have is I want to play everybody, and I want to
mm,
play Brieska at 5 and Tristan at 6. But that leaves us with
me too.
Kyle, Keegan Peterson, and Hamza all potentially playing at 4.
Yeah, that's a very tricky team to pick. I mean, I think as well, Bretsky and Stubbs at 5 and 6. Can we agree upon that then, Aditya? That 5 and 6. Who would you have at 5 and 6? Because that will be able to determine that we need to pick a keeper, of course. So, so then it's easy to maybe pick a guy like Carl Verena or someone like that, maybe in that position. Um, what's your thoughts on? Do you want to start there with 5 and 6, guys? Maybe that will maybe ease us up a little bit, or do you want to make a ruling on 4? Because in the live chat over here, we've got Bretsky at 4, we've got Calvarena at 5 from Lawrence. Some of the other guys have said that you can't drop Bretsky. Tabo saying I like Bretsky. And Herman is an opening pair, but we've already gone past that. So nobody's really actually said. I would like to hear in the live chat, please say who you'd like to see in that number 4 position. It would really help us if you could help us out here to select the team. Let's start. Let's pick a keeper first. I think that will cause a lot of headache. It will take away a lot of headaches for us. Unless you want to see Tristan Stubbs with the gloves, which I don't really want to. If you've got 2 designated keepers in the team, can we agree that it's going to either be Kloshile or Cal as the keepers?
Definitely.
Okay, cool. So let's pick our keeper first, Aditya. Let's go with you first.
Kyle.
Cal 3, all around Cal. So if that's the case, then where does Cal bat? I mean, the best position for me would be 4.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking Kyle 4, Brieska 5, and Stubbs 6. But as I say, it'll probably swap around throughout the 3
Mm,
matches, and you'll get Hamza at 4, you'll get a Peterson in at 3, and you'll get
yeah,
maybe even a Sheila in for Kyle in at least one of the matches. So
yeah.
yeah,
So you still have an opportunity, Aditya, to get Keegan Peterson in at 5 or 6, so we can vote for that afterwards. But let's put Kyle in at 4. It's a position that he's comfortable in. I think domestically as well. He batted 5-3. Where did he bat 5 this season? I think it was.
not sure,
Um,
but he's batted for the Proteas at 4 quite a few times.
he batted at 4 quite a few times for the Proteas, so it is a position that he's quite comfortable in. So I'm going to put Kyle Verreynne in there at 4, and then let's go with 5 because 5 and 6 is going to be quite tricky. Like I said, we've got a whole lot of guys. Now, me personally, my 11 that I picked beforehand, which we can actually give our individual ones after this, maybe to see how much it actually differs to the team that we've selected here as a collective. In the live chat over here, we also have got guys admitting that Kyle Verreynne should be the keeper. Tabo saying Kyle Verreynne at 4, he needs to be there. He tries to get back into the national team. Um, keeper is definitely Kyle, says Melissa, and then someone's already gone on to 5 with regards to Tristan. Okay, so 5. You want to go around, Werner? Let's start with your number 5.
Brieska.
You already said. Oh, you already said.
Brieski.
Sorry. Yeah, Bretsky. You said already said Bretsky. I agree with Bretsky. Aditya, your thoughts? Do you still want to get Keegan in there?
Yeah, I would like to see Keegan there for sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's Aditya's choice. A lot of us have said Bretsky in the comment section, so we're gonna probably rule it and then say it's Bretsky. Aditya, you need to win one of these here.
We'll leave the bowlers up to you.
Yeah, we leave the bowlers up to you, bro. Okay, so we've got Matthew Bretsky, MB. 6 for me is a straightforward one. We don't really have designated finishers in this team necessarily, like out and out finishers that we could really say that can really hit the ball a mile. Um,
I
I would
wouldn't
go,
mind if in one of the matches they swap, they take out Stubbs, put Brevis in at 6 just to see what he can do in that sort of role, and then
yes,
play
me
in
too.
Peterson or Hamza at 3. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind seeing that.
And I would also not mind, obviously, seeing one of the all rounders getting more batting responsibility. Like, for example, we've been talking about Senator Mutasami a lot and his batting. I would like to see him bat longer, a little bit, to see what he can actually do with the bat when he has some time at the crease, when he's not coming in and doing some medical roles. So Lawrence is saying Stubbs, Dex is saying Stubbs. Um, KP strike. What is KP strike rate in this a cricket? I can do that up for you guys. I mean, Aditya, are you also with? Who are you at 6? While I look up the stat,
Stubbs.
Stubbs as well. Okay, cool. That was quick. Didn't really give you much time. Do you want to elaborate?
It's quite an obvious pick, because I think if
Yeah,
if you look at the if you look at the nature of the team that we've picked so far, I think it's good to have it's good to have a player at 6 who can sort of knock it out of the park, be that X factor in terms of balance between the two teams. Because remember, we're playing in Sri Lanka, where at the moment in Colombo it's upwards of um, like 27 degrees Celsius. So
yeah,
hot conditions, and it's not always the sort of conditions where you can grind it out. So sometimes having that X factor
yeah.
player can really help the team.
Yeah, and I want to see him get more opportunities to do that role. He's always had. It's been quite tough for him to actually ease himself into that role for the Proteas. So Keegan Peterson's strike rate is 71.67 for in-list cricket. For the guys that wanted to know that as well. And some people are saying, like Dex says, he's not a white ball batter. Uh, nice to see Aditya. It's great to see Aditya again. And Vena as well. Three of us back on the stream together. I'm really happy about it and excited about it. Okay, so we've got Tristan over here at 6. So I'm gonna go TS. Now, business end. Okay, so we're playing in Candy. Or Candy, however you want to pronounce it. And I've looked up, I've done some research on the conditions, and generally speaking, in the last couple of years, it's been quite a flat pitch. Not necessarily too much turn, but I mean, generally a very flat pitch. We've only got one spinner, designated spinner in this particular team, out and out spinner, specialist spinner, if you want to call it that. So in the all-round position, we've got a couple of options, of course. This Bayer Swanepoel, we can bring that swinging option. We saw that compilation video by Werner on his channel. As a cricket talent, we've seen what he can do with the ball, how he swings that ball in. Gerald Coetzee is another possibility, and then you've got Senator and Mutasami. For me personally, I would, like I said, I want to see Senator with the bat and get an opportunity. So I want to see him in a batting all-rounder position, and I would go with Sen at number 7. What is your guys' thoughts on that, and what would you go for?
I agree. I would also go with them at 7.
Okay, teacher.
Muthuswamy is 7.
Okay,
Um,
wow, we came to an agreement. Okay, let's see
but
what
I'll,
the
I'll tell
live
you
chat
why.
has to say.
I'll
Yeah, please.
I'll tell you why. It's a recollection of the Imran Khan piece that I wrote based on the interview that you did with him, and I think he mentioned his batting a little bit, and just the fact that he's quite a fighter, and he's come a long way um,
Mm,
with the Dolphins, and it's probably the best opportunity for him uh,
mm.
to really master these conditions, and yeah, so I think that's why he'd make a very good 7.
Yeah, we've got Sam saying Swanepoel. Um, we've got Lawrence saying, I think I saw him, Sen 7, as he's the sole recognized spinner. Um, Sen definitely the better option, says Melissa. Um, he he's the better option between the three all-rounders. He's the only batting all-rounder, according to me, between the three. And according to him as well, he's a batting all-rounder. I mean, my interview with him proved that. He said it over and over again that he feels he's a batting all-rounder rather than a bowling all-rounder, and that his bowling only came along a lot later at his time at the Dolphins. So we're gonna go with Sinaran Mutusami. There is no other SM in the team. No, there isn't. So okay, cool. Let's go with number 8 now. Um, this can be another all-rounder, of course. We possibly, or we can just go with all seamers. I'm generally a person that likes to see two all-rounders in a team. A batting and a bowling all-rounder. I like that balance in a side. Um, for me, it can. I mean, Bayer Swanepoel is a good option in that position. I think I would really like to see what he could do. Seeing that he replaced Corbin Bosch, I think Corbin would have probably played in that position, either 8 or 9. So when we start, I mean, Aditya, we start with you this time, or yeah, Aditya, we start with you this time. Who would you like to see in that 8 position out of the guys? Do you want me to put up the team again, or do you know them?
Yeah. Can you put up the team again?
Yeah, cool.
Gerald Kutsia, definitely.
Cheryl could see here for Aditya.
I'd go Bayer Swanepoel at 8.
Cool. Me too. I said the same thing. Bayer Swanepoel at 8. Lawrence saying Lawrence saying Bayer Swanepoel at 8. Sam saying
I mean,
Swanepoel.
I'd still play Gerald. I'd just play him at 9.
Play him lower, yeah. Yeah, me too. I think I'm in the same boat there. Um, someone saying Gerald at Mutasami. Oh, he put Bayes in his team anyway, so we can put Bayes at 8. Tabo saying, okay, he's talking about KP. I'll say that later. Sam saying definitely Swanepoel. Lawrence saying definitely Swanepoel. Okay, so that's majority of people that are voting for Swanepoel at 8. I'm losing my mind here. Too many tabs I have to click. If anybody wants to become a producer at Cricket Fanatics for me, that would be great. So 8. So we've got Bayes Swanepoel, PS. I think it's PS that we put in Bayes. No, I'm joking. 9. We got Bayes Swanepoel. Why is it not? Come on. Cool. Okay, 9. I think this is gonna get a little bit pretty much straightforward from here on out. For me, Gerald at 9.
Same.
Werner 9. Aditya at 9. Cool. So we're finishing this team off quite quickly, guys. I like that. So Gerald Kutsia. I mean, majority of the chat as well says Gerald Kutsia at 9. Okay, my number 10. For me personally, I would like to see Tepo Moreki get an opportunity. I think that on a pitch that is probably going to be a very high scoring ground, a very slow pitch, I do think that Tepo Moreki has the skill and the experience to be able to really trouble the opposition with his experience and his consistency. For me personally, I would go with Tepo, but it's not up to me alone. So, Aditya, your thoughts on? We've got Lazard Williams they're still available. We've got because we picked all 3 of our all-rounders, so we don't have to worry about that. But we've got Lutus Pamla, and we've got, of course, Tepo Moreki as our options.
Yeah, I'd go with Lazard Williams. I don't have any statistical basis for it, but I think I'm just doing it based on what I've seen of him.
Who's available? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, and then who would be your 11? We might as well pick both.
And Luther Pamla.
Okay, so you with Luther and Lazard in your 11. Werner, who would be yours?
I'd have Lazard at 10 because I think he's a slightly better batter. I can at least stick around a bit. And then Moreka at 11 just for that extra pace with Gerald. And then,
Cool.
but it's the same again. They'll probably swap around and bring in Sipamla for one of the guys in some of the matches. So We're picking an
Yeah.
11 now, but it'll probably change
Yeah.
throughout the series.
Exactly. Yeah. So, guys, this is just a fun episode a fun activity that we're trying to do just to get everybody involved with the kind of 11 that they'd like to see play. We know that there's going to be changes, most likely. We know that there's going to be opportunities. I know that Shukri is probably going to be testing different things. I mean, Rob is there currently as well as an assistant coach. So they're going to be covering a lot of games over here and trying different and new things. So we're going to see a different 11 throughout the three matches, I think. Let me go into the live chat. Okay, so I'm overruled over here. Oh, actually, I'm not. I'm not. So it's Werner that agreed with me. But let's look at the live chat, because if the live chat is swaying more towards Luto and Lazard, then I'm going to pick Luto for this one, because it's only fair if the more people are voting for that in on the show itself, because this is a combined fans 11. So Dex is saying, let me just go up here to see what some people said for the full 11. Dex already said he's full 11, I think. Um, yes, I need a moderator, Dex. I know I need a lot of things. When money starts coming in, then we can start getting all of these things going. Swanepoel. Okay, I'll go with Herman de Zorzi, Brevis, Verena, Stubbs, Mutasami, and Swanepoel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 players. You're missing people. This is Lawrence target quota requires for 2 more players of color, or this isn't a thing for the A side. I don't think it's necessarily a thing for the A side necessarily. I think it would probably be throughout this series. They have to play a certain amount of players of color. I don't know, actually. To be honest with you, I can't give you that answer. I never asked those questions. I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest. I'm picking on merit, and I think it's enough there are enough players of color in this team that can be picked on merit alone. So I didn't even think about the quota, etc. Melissa says, if you compare Kutsia and Swanepoel's average for list A, Swanepoel is a better for number 8, especially after his top score he hit in the warm-up games. Lawrence saying Lazard and Moreki, 10 and 11. Moreki bowled his heart out on flat Newlands decks and took loads of wickets. I agree with you on that one. We've got Stubbs really needed to give an opportunity more because of Miller. Guys, I want you guys to please give me your thoughts on that 10 and 11 positions over here. That's actually what I'm looking for. I did see someone say Luto, and yeah, I did see someone say Luto and Lazard, but I don't see it anymore. It's
Dex said
disappeared.
that.
Dex said that. Okay, Dex said that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 16 of you guys currently watching, let me know in the live chat what you guys think. I mean, so far it's been Lazard and Moreki for me, and Werner, and Aditya has said Luto and Lazard for his picks, plus Dex. So currently we're actually outnumbered here. I'm going to give you guys some time to maybe say something. Got a good point about Moreki. Because I think Marek has been one of the players that has been toiling away for a very long time in domestic cricket. He's someone that maybe hasn't really gotten full credit for his hard work that he's put in over a large period of time. Now, there is a fact about Moreki. He's never taken a 5-4 before in any format, which is a shocking stat, actually, if you think about it. When every time he gets close, I mean, he gets to 4, and he never actually gets over that line to take that 5-4. So he was a player. I think he got an award at the Western Province Awards, if I'm not mistaken, last season. So it is something that is interesting. And he actually was very impressive this season because he led that attack without the experienced guys that they used to have. I mean, Western Province lost a lot of firepower in their bowling attack. And Moreki really stood out from the rest. Lutus Apamla, very talented bowler. He was a part of that talented Lion side now. They've got an amazing bowling attack. For me, he's more of a 4-day type of bowler, in my opinion. I think he's better in the longer formats because of his accuracy and putting the ball on the deck consistently. For me, he doesn't have too many change ups. And I think that's where Moreki maybe comes in with his slower balls and the movement. So I'm going to go with Moreki and Lazard because no one's actually voting in the live chat here, and we've got the guys that have outweighs it. So for me, it's going to be Lazard at 10 because we've seen him hit a couple of good scores. This guy when he goes in there and swings Lazard Williams, and then Tsepo Moreki, we've got at 11. Yeah. Cool. So our 11 and the combined 11 on the show from what the fans have picked: Tony DeZorgi, Jordan Herman, Deva Brevis, Calvarena, Matthew Bretsky, Tristan Stubbs, Senator Mutasami, Baya Swanepoel, Gerald Kutsia, Lazard Williams, and Tsepo Moreki. So, guys, the first game will be on Sunday. I'll put up the fixtures on the screen for you guys to see. So Sunday, the 4th of June, we play in Candy, and that's the team that we've selected. Okay, let's go around the room. Any final thoughts that you want to maybe mention, Werner, and then we can end off with Aditya?
I feel like I've had too much say in this because this is the exact team I wanted to pick. So it feels like Aditya needs more of an input here.
Yeah, let's go Aditya, because I mean my one, let me just go through the team that I picked, and then Aditya, you can maybe give the team that you would pick. So I was a little bit experimental in my one. I went with Tony, Herman, Zubair, Carl, Matthew, Tristan, and I went with Dewald at 7 because I want to see what he can do. In a lower position, coming out there and just going mad. And then I said Senator Mutasami, Gerald, Tsepo, and Lazard. So it's basically almost the same. The 7 for Dewald was just me baffling around and moving around. I would have most likely went with this exact 11. So Mutasami at 7, and then Bayers as well, because I wanted to get Bayers in my team as well. I tried to be a little bit more, also get some balance with regards to amount of players of color. I've got Zubair, Senaran, Tsepo, Lazard as well. But this one is a little bit, and Tony, of course. This one is actually a little bit more um, realistic when it comes to actually picking a team. So, Aditya, what would you have gone with?
I'd have gone with something there and thereabouts. So the team that is picked is relatively close to what I would have picked, but I think generally this tour needs to be a balance of giving current players in the test team an opportunity to play in different conditions and also give potential test cricketers the opportunity to get exposure to these conditions. So I think that's normally in an A tour, that's a difficult balance to that's a difficult balance to create, because obviously the team also wants to win. So to take all of these things into consideration can be quite difficult. But I think in an A tour, generally the the primary focus should be on giving. See, I know from an India perspective, the idea is to give prospective players an opportunity, but because South Africa doesn't play as much Test cricket and has a couple of players who are coming back from injury, has one player come back from injury and the other needs to sort of make his way back in Peterson and Kyle Perena. So then that's why I feel like there needs to be a bit of a balance in the two. But ordinarily, I'd pick an entirely new 11, for an A tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
case,
Yeah, the ideal thing for me too, and I think Werner said it at the top of the show and throughout the show, he said that we probably want to see a lot of changes happen throughout this
Yeah.
tour, and that's exactly what this tour is supposed to be for. I want to see Tristan bowl more. I want to see Dewald bowl more. I want to see what they can do in white ball cricket too with the ball. I would like to see maybe even an opportunity for Tristan to maybe see if he can. We haven't necessarily had the chance to see him often enough with the gloves in hand. It could be
Mm.
another potential option. I would love to see Kashile in a game or get a game or two as the keeper and see how he's matured as a batter and as a player, playing at the size level. With regards to what you said about Keegan, I mean, getting him more opportunities to bat and play. I mean, he only played that one game after a long injury and then got dropped again. So Matthew Brzezinski, the top run scorer, did really well in all formats this season. He did well in the SA20 when he got his opportunities, 4-day cricket, 1-day cup as well. So it will be nice to see everybody get an opportunity, and I think that's probably what we're going to get going into a tour like this. Um, with regards to the balance of the squad, I'm happy because I think that with regards to the bowlers, particularly, they've picked bowlers that I think should be able to go and do the hard yards, run in every single day on these wickets like Candy. If it's going to be as flat as we think it is, and high scoring wickets, these are bowlers that are used to playing in those type of conditions. Now, if the conditions do change up and you need someone to be able to move that ball, or you need someone to be able to come and do a little bit more variations, etc., Yorkers, they've got that options too, and they've got raw pace as well. So there's a nice balance, I think, to the side. I think a lot of people have already mentioned that they would have maybe wanted an extra spinner because we're going to Sri Lanka, but that has already kind of been the reasons for that has already been explained by Shukri Conrad on the previous show, and in Werner's article on Supersport. So, yeah, that's my final thoughts on that. Werner, let's get your final thoughts going into this tour. I mean, the first game obviously being on Sunday.
Yeah, so what I see happening is probably Hamza and Peterson and Kyle playing both 4-day matches, and then maybe playing one or two of the 1-day matches, with Devon Brevis and Tristan Stubbs maybe playing two or all three of the 1-day matches, with the two of them swapping one in the one 4-day match and one in the other 4-day match, that type of thing. Because the main reason why these other guys are here is because we aren't playing too many test matches and they want them to have more 4-day cricket. So I don't think we'll see them only playing one of the two matches, because that would kind of defeat the purpose. So I think we'll probably see those guys play both matches, and then some of the other guys who are new and that we want to give opportunities to will probably play more of the 1-day matches and then swap for one of the two matches in the 4-day series. So that's what I expect to see.
Yeah, and what I expect to see as well, what I think would happen is if that is the case, if Tristan's going to play one full game, I assume that they're going to bowl him all day. They're going to give him the ball and say, go and bowl. And the same for Deva Brevis in the 4-day arena as well. I think when they do get the opportunity, I think all they're going to do is just bowl all day so that they can actually see how how well they can bowl. Aditya, you mentioned maybe some concerns with Deva Brevis maybe bowling, maybe picking up an injury, etc., being a wrist spinner and all of that. Do you want to maybe elaborate on that for the people that haven't heard those comments?
So generally, because Dewald is a wrist spinner, oftentimes that creates a bit of a conflict between the two disciplines of batting and wrist spin, because wrist spin apparently has more demands from the body, and if history suggests, it's not very easy to bat and be successful wrist spinner, over a long period of time. And you look at Steve Smith, ultimately had to give up wrist spin. Faf du Plessis had to give it up as well. Sachin Tendulkar, another example. Um, he, towards the end of his career, at least for the last 5, 7 odd years, he bowled a lot less than he did previously, because in ODI cricket he had about like 150 wickets. Don't to forget that. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I hope they will never picks up an injury bowling, but yeah, at no point should the bowling come at the cost of his stronger discipline.
Mhm. Yeah, which I don't personally. I don't think that would happen. With the experience that Shukri has with regards to monitoring youngsters and keeping them, and with the high performance and his experience there and emerging in SIA, I think they'll monitor him well. And these days, with the technologies and the physiotherapists and the disciplines that we have medically, I think that there's a possibility, or not a possibility, high probability that that won't happen. That they won't allow that to happen, or that they'll monitor him consistently. But let's see. With regards to how they're going to use him on this tour, because that will determine a lot of things. I think this tour will be able to give us a lot of evidence on how South Africa wants to move forward. Um, because when I read those comments from Shukri and from Werner's article, and I'll put it up on the screen again, um, it's a great opportunity to see someone like Brevi with the ball in hand. We would like to see him in pressure situations. That gives me an indication that they're going to bowl them a lot this particular tour. So that obviously will, if you use logical deduction, we will obviously be able to, like we did, pick the team according to that, and maybe we can take some hints into that, saying that they probably will get opportunities to bowl in the 4-day arena if they rotate them like Werner suggests, which I agree with, in to see everybody play. Ultimately, I want to see every single player play in this particular tour. That's the point of this. I want to see how they can step up to different environment, different conditions, and playing in pressure situations. But yeah, any last words, final words, Aditya, Werner?
Yes, I have had the recent privilege of getting a new bat.
Oh, wait, we have to make the screen bigger for you. Let's just have a look at this. Let's just solo that out for you. Beautiful. Whose bat is that? Like, which players play with that bat?
Aiden Markram will approve.
Yeah, I know Aiden plays with GM, but that particular bat, that
Yeah, he
particular
does. He
brand,
plays
who
with the
else
hyper.
plays? Aiden,
It's the same one.
Aiden, is it the Hyper?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, cool. I couldn't see the logo.
yeah. I can present it again.
But because okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, Aiden's bat. And who else plays with that? Do you know any other?
I mean, I know Rickleton plays with GM as well, but I'm not sure if it's the hyper.
Hmm, Hyper.
Um,
I'm not sure either.
yeah,
And
but
no one in, and generally speaking, in India, do they use to some players to players play with J? Not often, eh?
not really. We have a
Yeah,
so generally, I think in India it's Virat
I know
Kohli
you're
uses
in the
the
UK
RF,
now.
but it's generally like the SS and SG and like the Indian brands
Yes,
that
yeah. So
yeah.
you're betting with a South African bet in England?
It's actually English. It's based in
I know,
Nottingham.
I know. I'm just joking.
But I sent Rickleton a message with a picture. I was like, I'm betting. I've just got this one. This needs to be knocked in a bit.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Let me know
Gun and
how it.
more. You guys wanna chat Cricket Fanatics magazine? More than welcome, mate.
Yes, please, Gano more. We've been waiting for a long time for you guys to get in contact with us. I spoke to Dave Vias I saw him one day at the hotel and we were chatting. So maybe I must drop him a message. We know that his mom is heavily involved with Gun and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
England's finest since 1885.
I used to love GMs. I mean, which batch did you guys? Werner, what bat did you bat with as a kid, like in high school?
My first bat was Gray Nichols, but it was way too heavy for me, and I broke it 3 times. And my grandpa fixed it by putting in wooden pegs through the sides. And I don't think it was very legal, but he did it anyway.
Uh,
And then I had a BS, the good old school Nikibuya BS.
yeah.
And then the last few years of high school, I had a Puma. I had a Puma bat.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I was always a GM fan. I had the Jonty Rhodes GM fan. I had that bat first when I was a kid, but that was about when I was like 5 years old. So that wasn't like an original English willow type of bat. It was those ones that you buy in the stores that comes with the wickets and comes with the ball, and then he signed his name on it as well. Like on the not him himself, but I mean he signed on the label. So everybody that gets it will have that signature basically on the bat. So that was my first one, and then I wanted Herschel Gibbs's bat when I was playing in high school.
Yeah.
Always wanted it. That was just like because he was my favorite batter. Like I was obsessed with Herschel Gibbs. Like when I was a kid, I used to put my collar up when I batted and everything. But I was a left-hander, so it was like a bit. But I still used to put up my collar and everything when I used to bat, because I wanted to be Herschel Gibbs. But the bat was a little bit too expensive. So we got Graham Smith's one, which was actually cheaper than at the time. The one with the yellow handle. I don't remember what the name of the actual bat was, but I had that in high school. And then the school that I went to, St. George's, they actually they sponsored me a bat for primary school. It was a it was a BS bat as well. Yes, it was a BS bat. It broke though. So in the end, I ended up getting the GM, and then I played with that GM through my whole life. A lot of people actually, the one that was popular at my school, like everybody was used to like the Slazengers, the
Yeah,
V600, V6.
the V eight
I don't know if
hundred
you guys, the
Alice.
V800, the V600, the V12, the 1200 also came out later on, but mainly at school it was the V600 and the V800 that used to be like very popular at the schools. I don't know if it's the same, was the same in Pretoria or for you, Van, or in the Joburg region as well.
Yeah, at the early stages, Schlesinger quickly went out of brand. I think the
Yeah.
moment Colors stopped playing,
Yes.
Schlesinger disappeared.
Yeah.
Because until then, I know in the early days, David Miller played with Schlesinger and Owen Morgan played with Schlesinger. But then I think the moment Colors retired, I haven't really seen a Schlesinger since.
Yeah. Me neither.
I know I wanted to, I always wanted to play with a Kookaburra just because AB played with one and a few of the guys. So I always wanted to play with one, and then I never got the chance because I couldn't afford it. And then the other day, well, last year, I was asked to play a last man standing game, and so I was never a great batter, but I so they gave me one to bat with, but I came in like with 2 overs to go, and I only faced 3 deliveries, and I missed two. So not much use having a Kookaburra if you can't hit it.
So the Dex over here says Kookaburra, Gary Nichols, also an OG.
Great.
ABD is Kookaburra, of course. I had a Slazenger as my first bat, says Estabo, Jacques Callis. Slazenger V600 says Wackers for me. Yeah, Aditya, what were some of the other bats that you had? I mean, you're now batting with Aiden's bat, so what else?
Actually, I haven't batted with it yet. I'm still like
Yeah.
knocking it in with this little thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in India, like around the time that lockdown was being lifted, I sort of restarted club cricket, and I bought a new kit for the first time in like 15, 20 years or something like that. And so I bought a Kashmir Willow bat, a New Balance Kashmir Willow bat, and then um, for my birthday I got an SS English Willow bat. Uh,
Mm.
but
Those
the
SSs are
interesting
good.
thing is, sorry.
Those SSs are good. I think Zubair Hamza has now switched to an SS now, and I think Rassi as well.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
think 80% of the world is batting with SS now.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
yeah, SS pays well. Um, but the thing is, the one thing we don't do enough is emphasize on promote the Kashmir Willow enough, because oftentimes we talk about like the English willow and just the fact that it's a
Mm.
bit lighter and things like that, but sometimes it's beneficial to bat with that Kashmir willow. So Sachin Tendulkar spent his entire career batting with the Kashmir willow. He never
Yeah,
used an
see,
English
I
willow.
didn't know that. You know that at school when I was growing up, they always used to tell me, they used to like diss me even, or like say like it's uncool to have a Kashmir willow. You have to have an English willow. I think kids are so uninformed about things, so we just think that this is
Yeah,
cool and we go with it. So everybody was like, "Oh, you have a
yeah,
Kashmir? That's actually fake." And I was, well, but you were a kid. You're like 6, 7, 8 years now, or maybe
yeah.
primary school 10, 11, 12. So everybody thought it was uncool to have Kashmir willow. Everybody said, "Oh, English willow is the real thing." And then I got an
Because
English willow and it broke. So
exactly. So because a lot of people don't understand how the Kashmir willow came to be, which is that when the Brits came to India, they obviously wanted to create an environment for cricket as well. And they thought that they can't keep transporting equipment from England to India. So that's why don't we find a region in India where conditions are similar to England? And so they went around the country, and because it's more of a tropical country, they went to the cooler parts of the country. And the coolest, of course, being Kashmir. And so they saw that the seeds essentially that grew the willow were best suited to Kashmir. But obviously, it wouldn't have the same attributes as the English willow. So
Mm,
it would have certain attributes that are a little bit different, which is why you find that the Kashmir willow is a little bit darker in shade. It's a little bit heavier, and it's sturdy. So Kashmir willow, once you knock a Kashmir willow in versus an English willow, a Kashmir willow is more likely to last longer.
mm,
Which is why on previous shows I've said that in order to improve access to cricket in South Africa, Kashmir willow bats should be encouraged a lot more because they last longer, they're cheaper, and kids will be able to use it for a long time.
interesting. And I know about the English weather. They always used to tell me at Sportsman's Warehouse, because I mean that's where everybody used to buy their bats. Sportsman's Warehouse used to say that we might for English weather you always have to oil it and knock it in properly, because if you don't, then
Yeah,
it ends up snapping. Like that's exactly what happened with mine. I didn't actually knock it in enough.
yep,
So yeah, those type of things happens. Interesting tip from Zubair Hamza. I saw this firsthand. I went to a training session one day a couple of years ago. You know those red little cherries that you get on your bat? He uses nail polish remover to remove them. Just an interesting fact that I wanted to spit out there as a tip maybe for some people. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Werner, thanks a lot, Aditya. Thanks to all the fans out there for joining in on the show. It was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. We picked our 11 amongst all of us, and we suggested what we would like to see, maybe perhaps, but we know that they're going to chop it and change it, and they're going to probably allow everybody to play. So let's see what they do. I'm hoping and crossing fingers that they play it on the Sri Lanka YouTube channel, because in the past, Sri Lanka's YouTube channel used to be very good with this type of stuff. So I'm hoping that they will stream these games and stream the game on Sunday. Big game for me in the football on tomorrow, Manchester Derby. It's an opportunity for Man United to stop Manchester from winning the treble, and I'm nervous as hell throughout the night. I probably won't sleep because I'm going to be thinking about this all day. Because if Manchester City win the treble, I'm going to die. So metaphorically. So yeah, let's put an end to the show. I think it was a brilliant show. Thanks a lot, Verna. Thanks a lot, Aditya. Thanks a lot to all the viewers out there. Please, guys, do a couple of things for me. There's download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. As you can see, Matthew Pireski made the cover of the mag this month. There's a feature with him and Bay Swanepoel on the Warriors season this season. We've got the exclusive from Aditya with regards to Imran Khan. We've had the Northwest coach give his thoughts. We've had the Titans coach as well give his thoughts. We've had I said Northwest already. We've had KZ in England give their thoughts as well. So we've got quite a few, and then we've got George Linder, Calvarena that have given their thoughts on the season so far from a Western Province perspective and their careers as well. So there's a lot of great features in this mag. There's a crossword puzzle for you to guys to solve. Some brilliant content in this particular issue. So please go ahead and download. It's 100% free. Also, what I need you guys to please do is become a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. This is your way of showing that your support for us is as little as a coffee a month. So please go ahead and get your subscription for this. The more if we can get a good amount of subscribers or patrons over here, then we can start doing exclusive content over there. I'm thinking of opening up as soon as we hit 4K subscribers, which we're close to, guys. I think we only need about 70 for 4K subscribers on YouTube. Once we get that going, I'll probably open up the membership site on YouTube for you guys to be able to join and become members, where you can get exclusive content there as well, and access and chat and with each other, and have a great time within there. And you'll get personal stickers as well to be able to do certain things as well on YouTube. But I'll give you a little bit more details around that and the tiers closer to the time when we get to that 4K mark, which is a milestone that we are working towards. So please, guys, get your friends and family that are into cricket to subscribe. Then also smash the like button, comment, and share. That's how we get into recommended feeds. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. So thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening and the weekend. And we'll see you guys again very, very soon for another daily show. We'll probably do a review on Monday, the day after the match. I'll see what happens on Sunday. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on my mood. It depends on a lot of things because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. See that it's a massive game on the weekend. But on Monday, we'll definitely give you a show to review the entire game, talk about it, and talk about the next game coming as well. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your weekend.